Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another show. Unpopular Celebrities. Been out for a minute, but we're back. Thought you can get rid of us, but you can't. Still here. Back live full in effect for a regular show. I think we missed last week. We back this week for another show. Back with myself, Pete, with Philly DC. Just to put out again, anything you hear from unpopular celebrities is all unofficial. None of the conversation or comments reflect us, the military, the DOD, or the United States Armed Forces as a whole. Philly, I know you have a lot to talk about, so I'll just have you please introduce yourself humbly, as you always do, and then let me start with the rant, and then you can do your thing. But please be humble.
I can't stop smiling. Do y'all know why I can't stop smiling? Do you know? Maybe this will help. That's all you get. You know why? Because we are your 2025 Super Bowl champions.
Bitch, sit down.
Philadelphia Eagles, they are the Super Bowl champions. And all y'all that didn't believe in us, all y'all kept receipts. Every show, I can call every name out, but I won't. I will say that till later. I will say that till later. But first, let me bring it down some.
Did you not hear my voice mod?
No, I'm ignoring.
Be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble.
That's what I was saying. I feel sorry for all you Herbs and Busters that woke up not Super Bowl champions like me. You can't wear a hat. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to the show. As my co-host stated, I was going to say something, but the Lord caught my tongue because it's Sunday. So welcome to the show. This is Unpopular Celebrities. I am your co-host, Philly DC, along with this guy to the right, co-host and engineer, Pete. Then our other two co-hosts out in the wild, doing their things in the world, Jessica Player and also Del Brown out there in Korea. Reds in the wire, open fire, all that other stuff. Yes. We thank you for joining us today. And we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl route involving the 2025 Super Bowl champion and the Kansas City Chiefs. We did the America a favor. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that. We're going to also talk about the Super Bowl halftime show, which seems to gets talked about more than the Super Bowl itself, involving Kendrick Lamar, a.k.a. K-Dot, and his feud with Drake. We'll also talk about all the craziness that's surrounding the last 45, 60 days involving our new administration, as well as the sweeping changes across the Air Force in regards to standards and readiness. And we'll also throw in a couple of zingers too about Tesla, some interesting things Pete found out about Tesla and so on and so forth. So go ahead and join us, sit down, get your favorite drink, your favorite snack, and join the conversation. Feel free, as always, jump in the comments, like, share, and subscribe, and let's get right into it.
Can somebody on Facebook please send a hello, a note, or something? Because I'm not seeing that I have the ability to see this. So I appreciate it if y'all could do that for the kid. Well, I'm trying to get. So I keep telling Philly that, or anybody on YouTube also. Every time we do this and we take a break and get back to it, yo, Scott Roy, appreciate you, big dog. All right, perfect. Raymond Billups, what up, homie? Fellow Diamond, what's going on? Appreciate y'all. Oh, I got to give you access to this. Like I told Philly, every time we don't go on for a while and then come back on, it's chaos for a little bit. All right. So, Philly.
That's me.
February, was it 9th? February 9th will be a different day for you for probably the rest of your life. An interesting thing happened in Atlanta, Georgia that day, or was it New Orleans? It was New Orleans. Interesting happened. Was it New Orleans?
Are you talking about the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Why would it be in Atlanta? It's the New Orleans, man.
New Orleans.
Come on, man. Oh, man.
So if you guys didn't see it, we played a Tecmo Super Bowl version of the 2024 Super Bowl with the live Super Bowl rosters. You can go back on Unpopular Celebrities under our live videos on YouTube and see what happened. That seemed to be a start of disaster for all Chiefs fans, including shout out Joanne Bass, Chiefs fan. Broke a lot of hearts in a lot of Chiefs stadiums. A lot of Chiefs fans thinking they were going to do something that was never seen in the Super Bowl era of the NFL. And that was going to be a three-peat. And the Philadelphia Eagles ruined it for all Chiefs fans, including those who had money on the Chiefs. But congratulations. Well done. The floor is yours for wherever you want. I know you got receipts. I know you want to call people out. I was one of the ones that did not think the Eagles were going to make it there, first of all.
Right.
And I damn sure didn't think they were going to win. So
apologize.
Congratulations to the 2024-2025 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right.
I'm going to move the mic because I know you're going to be here for a minute.
Apologize. I want you to apologize.
For what? For being wrong?
You're one of the receipts. Last show we did before the Tecmo Bowl one, you said that the Eagles would not win the Super Bowl.
I did.
You said it. Apologize.
I apologize for being wrong for once in my life.
Right.
It doesn't feel good.
Right.
But can I say one thing and I'll let you go?
And if you say the Falcons won, it don't matter.
No. Can I say one thing?
Okay, go ahead.
It could be because of me that y'all won. But go ahead. Could be.
Okay. I will keep for y'all, for you guys, I will keep my rant short.
We'll see.
Just want to say I foresaw this and I predicted this in the beginning of the season. I kept saying I'm gonna put on my Facebook. I will today. When I said in August, this is a road to start to your future 2025 Super Bowl champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. I predicted it. It came to pass. And we did America a favor. We stopped the accursed Kansas City Chiefs from being the three-peat champion. That's right. The wretched Kansas City Chiefs. We stopped the empire. Just like we stopped the Patriots back in 2017. We did y'all a favor. So you're welcome, America. You're welcome. Them Philadelphia Eagles, no one, I won't say no one, many of people counted them out. When we started season 2-2, we lost to the Buccaneers. We lost to the Falcons. Nobody didn't think we were going to even make the playoffs, let alone win the Super Bowl. And man, this one commentator, I can't remember what his name was. He was on ESPN. He said it perfectly. The Chiefs, no one should be too surprised about the Chiefs. The Chiefs all year were winning by a hair. They weren't dominating folks during the regular season. They were winning like barely, either a block punt. I remember the first game against the Ravens. I think his name was Lively, the receiver from the Ravens. He stepped out of bounds by an inch. They would have won that game and many other games. And so people were beginning to think the Chiefs were like unstoppable. They didn't have all the great talent, but they just knew how to win. It's like the odds were always on their side. And so many commentators, I got receipts for that too, we're talking about how I know the Eagles has got the better roster, but the Chiefs are the champions. You don't go against the Chiefs. They always find ways to win. Well, Shout out to the broadcast on ESPN that said this. I have to find your name, but he said it perfectly. The Eagles proved, regardless of how much talent you have, regardless if you're the champions or not, it comes down to in the trenches. And in the trenches, our defensive line kicked the living out of the freaking Chiefs. I don't know why I said freaking. All right, cursed anyway. Not to mention the offensive line pretty much punished the defensive line of the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts was only sacked twice in that game. Patrick Mahomes, 6 times with 35-yard loss. And how poetic, the very last sack, Jalen Hurts pretty much sucker punched Patrick Mahomes in the face.
That wasn't Jalen Hurts.
No, I mean, my bad.
Jalen Carter.
Whatever. Jalen Carter. You don't get to talk about the Eagles. You ain't an Eagles fan. Anyway, as I was saying, I digress.
Corrected you.
That was poetic. The Eagles pretty much wanted it more. I think it was Buzz, I can't remember his name either. I'll say this and then I'll move on. The Chiefs got too comfortable. They won 2 straight Super Bowls. They had 2 straight parades. They had all the endorsement deals. They were just chilling, enjoying life. And during the regular season, I think they were bored. That's why they were barely winning. But they always thinking in the playoffs they could turn up a notch. And they kind of did when they played against Buffalo or whatever. But the Eagles were mad. We wanted it more. There are some people from the last Super Bowl, which we should have won, might I add, were robbed. And we wanted revenge. Then you had some rookies that wanted the Super Bowl ring, and we went in there. There's a quote from Marvin Hagler that said, Marvin Hagler. I never heard this one, but the dude said it. I said, man, I didn't even think about it. That was brilliant. Marvin Hagler said, it's hard getting up in the morning to do road work at 5 p.m. when you're wearing silk pajamas.
That was Hearns, not Hagler.
It was Hagler.
Oh.
Ain't no such thing as Marvin Hearns. It was Marvin Hagler. Look it up. Anyway, what that tells me is the Chiefs were wearing silk pajamas for 2 years. 2 years. And they thought wearing silk pajamas again was going to get them to win, but it didn't. Cash a check for the Eagles. They are the Super Bowl champions. I see a dynasty coming. You said it. I said it. You heard it here first. Dynasty coming. And for all you folks who are not Eagles fans that can't wake up wearing this hat, feel free to jump on the bandwagon. You just got to learn the Eagles fight song before you join our club.
I apologize.
I'll pause there.
It was Hagler. I apologize.
That's right. Sit your tail down. Sit your tail down. That's right. Ease up.
All right.
That's
so
right.
Philadelphia Eagles, we're done talking about them for a whole 6 months until next year. Well, they will not repeat. They will be on Thursday Night Football.
That's not,
for the
you know
opening.
what? I want you to say all that because again, your opinion matters nothing after this year.
Oh, wow.
It matters nothing. He's like, hey, already, hey y'all, hey fam, listen to this dude already. This dude already doubting us. Keep doubting us because that's how we keep winning. You hater.
So interesting enough, everybody that played in the Super Bowl. I don't know if they had a play, but each member of the Philadelphia Eagles received a $171,000 bonus.
Yeah.
There is 22 players on the Eagles team that don't make that amount in a year. Pretty interesting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I really don't care about that. All I care about is we won the freaking title. Shout out to all the Philadelphia fans out there. If y'all watched the parade, if y'all didn't watch the parade, you can catch it on YouTube if you want to see it. How people celebrate. And for the people out there talk about they're like taken aback because Eagles fans ripped the city apart, taking traffic lights, jumping on police horses and stuff.
Jesus.
That's how we
Police
celebrate
horses?
Philadelphia. That's right. There were like 6 police horses that was stolen that day. People riding out on police horses.
Chief
Look it
Roy,
up. It's on the video.
Chief Roy, shout out to you. Next chapter begins. Hayes says, congratulations, Eagles. Scott Roy, Chief Roy, brings up, first of all, congratulations on Make Chief. I saw the promotion. That was pretty dope, man. Whoever did put your promotion ceremony together did a good job. So congratulations on that. He said the defense was everything. I called Philly after the game, after he was done with his live YouTube celebrating Facebook post video, which lasted about 4 hours, and said, I was pretty upset Jalen Hurts won the MVP. I think they should have had first time in history, co-MVPs, and just gave it to the whole defensive line. Because I don't think Hurts was the MVP. Your thoughts? Interested to hear the thoughts in the comments as well.
I'll put it like this. I will admit you were right to some respect.
Thank you.
When I thought about it and I looked at the stats, Jalen, when you look at the game, the reason why the Eagles won was for the defense. It's just the offense was able to execute because the defense played so well.
Yes.
When you think about the game, even the first drive the Eagles have, we didn't do anything. But the defense stopped them. Chiefs' first drive. Then the Eagles were able to score. Then it's like the defense held Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to like 11 yards, total yards, the first half. And Patrick Mahomes had 2 picks. Here's the problem with your analysis. Okay. Because you were the same person that said that when you give out the MVP, they always look at the quarterback first because they're touching the ball the most. Because I argued with you and said Saquon Barkley should be MVP. You said the reason why he won't win is because he's not a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
In some respects, you were right. And the MVP voting, Barkley only had like 2 first-place votes. He was number 3 behind Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. What I might add, did not end up in the Super Bowl again, but that's another story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the trophy's called Most Valuable Player. They can't give it to the whole defense. Now, you can argue that maybe the trophy could have went to Josh Sweat, or maybe it could have went to Cooper DeJean or Nick Bond, but that's part of the problem. So many people made great plays. Who do you give it to? They can't just give it to the whole defense. It's called Most Valuable Player.
I hear you. I guess, I mean, has there ever been co-MVPs in the NFL?
Some reason I think it has. For some reason, my mind, I'm going to look it up real quick, but for some reason, I think it has.
I know there's been rookie of the years in the NBA. Y'all in the that's watching this live, let us know in the comments because I'm not sure. I love how excited Pete is listening to DC talk about the Eagles.
Thank you.
How am I excited? I'm not excited at all.
Wow, we did you a favor.
Yeah, I wonder if there's been co-MVPs in the NFL. Interesting. I'm not sure if there has.
Looking it up now.
Okay.
But I know, like, I think Ray Lewis was MVP in a Super Bowl.
That was just name. That was just because of his name.
My point is there were other defensive players too besides Ray Lewis. He wasn't the first one.
He wasn't?
There were there was another defensive player that was MVP. You had Deion Branch, a wide receiver. He was MVP during the Brady era, playing for Tom Brady. So it's possible. But I think, not to take anything away from Jalen Hurts, I mean, you got to think about it, bro. There were people that felt like that was the weakest, that was the Achilles heel of the Eagles. Everybody talking about what Spagnuolo was going to do to blitz Jalen Hurts, to get him off his rhythm and stuff. And they did a great job stopping Saquon Barkley. He had like only 57 yards. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was right. So there are co-MVPs, and they're both defensive players. Interesting. So in 78, in the Dallas Cowboys, 1978 Super Bowl 12, Cowboys-Broncos Super Bowl, Harvey Martin and Randy White were co-MVPs. They're both defensive linemen.
Yeah, I know who that is. Defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He said Von Miller was the MVP. Von Miller?
Yep.
Good call. Yep. When they blasted the dang.
Hey, Sharma. Hey, shout out to Sharma, man. We sitting there on the financial management worldwide, man. She killed it, man. I love her reference where she said the reason why like our Emmys didn't pull up is because, you know, we're the world's greatest Air Force. They had the crowd pop, man. She was good. Shout out to Sharma.
Okay. That went
Yeah.
came from the. I have so many questions. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
She can elaborate, but it was just a panel of chiefs for the financial management worldwide operations.
Okay.
And it was, we were doing closing comments, and she went and she did this closing comment about, most people always talk about how great the Air Force is. We got the greatest airmen. But I love the analogy she used. She says the reason why, and Sharma, correct me if I'm wrong, I know I'm paraphrasing, but she said the reason why our enemies haven't pulled up is because we got the world's greatest Air Force. Pull up is a terminology as you use, like, in the street. Like if you pull up on somebody, you about to, throw down or whatever. So I thought that was good.
She said hashtag on site.
Yeah, on site. Yeah, that's what it was. On site. It was pretty good.
Interesting. Okay. Wish I was there. So congratulations to the Eagles. Still think they should have gave it to the defense if there has been MVPs before. But I think everybody loves Jalen Hurts. So shout out to him. Good job, Jalen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
It was funny because do you think y'all get rid of not Spagnola, but who's y'all head coach?
Sirianni?
Sirianni. Y'all gonna get rid of Sirianni?
No.
He's stuck now?
No. Now, hey, he's not stuck. If you remember, you're not an Eagles fan, you probably don't remember. But if you're an Eagles fan, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, gave us our first Super Bowl in 2017. 3-4 years later, we fired him. So we don't care in Philly. Either you do your job or you're gone. It don't matter if you win the Super Bowl or not. You're gone.
I will agree with that. Y'all really don't care at all.
We don't give two ducks. If you don't produce, you're gone.
That is hilarious.
Yep. All right. Let's move on. Talk about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay.
So if you all caught the Super Bowl, you of course caught the Super Bowl halftime show, unless you're not a fan of Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick Lamar, aka K-Dot, which arguably is the best or the most revered, most popular hip-hop artist, MC in the world today. And so I'm sure there's some fans of J. Cole or Drake that may disagree, but I would agree. Kendrick Lamar is the dude. He's that dude, that man in hip-hop today. And there was a lot of controversy that Jay-Z, who has a lot of influence or controls what artist performs in the Super Bowl halftime show, told everyone that Kendrick Lamar was named as the halftime Super Bowl show instead of Lil Wayne, and it's in Lil Wayne's hometown, New Orleans. But anyway, so Kendrick Lamar comes out at halftime when the Eagles are blowing out the Chiefs, I might add. I'll throw that in there. Okay, Sharma says, yes, K-Dot's performance was beyond poetic. Hey, so before I go any further, Sharma made some good points too. She told me at the conference a lot of different things she noticed that I didn't notice that kind of changed my mind, but I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, K-Dot goes out there, he kills it, and there was a lot of controversy on whether he was going to perform the song Not Like Us. If you don't know what Not Like Us is, it's a diss song to one of the biggest hip-hop artists, Drake. And he teased us, and he delivered and performed a couple of bars from Not Like Us that sent the crowd into a frenzy. And so after the show and after the Super Bowl, there was a lot of mixed thoughts about whether his show was good or was it bad. So there was some folks on one side that felt like his show wasn't good because it was just a bunch of dancing. There was no pyrotechnics. There was a lot of different stylings and things of that nature compared to like the Usher show or the Dr. Dre show years prior. And then you had some other folks who's like his performance was brilliant. There was a lot of different thoughts in there, themes, different little digs at people and processes and stuff. And the last thing I'll say before I pass it over is Samuel Jackson made a guest appearance as Uncle Sam, which I thought he does a brilliant job. He's a phenomenal actor. And then special appearance by Serena Williams, who did the Crip Walk, which was all over the internet. Now everybody's trying to do TikTok videos of the Crip Walk. Okay, so I'll pause there.
Hey, I love your symbols that you're putting up because the PlayStation controller, which I'm surprised you didn't talk about the most, was kind of the Easter egg, if you want to say, from his performance. And then it's, when he got done, it said like game over in the crowd, which is pretty interesting. Number one, I like the performance. I thought it was top 5. We talked about this afterwards. Personally, I thought it was top 5 best Super Bowl performances ever. So I did really enjoy it. There was so many, I'll just call them Easter eggs in there. I didn't catch everything till afterwards. The Serena Williams crip walking thing, I think Stephen A. Smith said that best, so I'll come back to that. I'm not sure if you saw Stephen A. Smith's comments about that. Oh, no. Wow. Okay. So I'll inform you about that right now. So Stephen A. Smith said it was if the reason that she got on that song, crip walking, it doesn't matter about the dance, because if you remember, I think it was Venus or Serena got ridiculed for crip walking during the Wimbledon when she used to play tennis. Yeah. So that was number one conflict with that, or controversy, not conflict. Number two is she used to date Drake. And so what Stephen A. Smith says, like, she's married now to somebody, but Stephen A. Smith said, if I was her husband, I'd be upset if she's up there still clapping back at your ex-boyfriend. Like, bro, you ain't over him yet. Like, we're married now. Like, basically, you should be over all your exes. Like, why would you go on there just to, seems like, show your ex up? Like, you should be over that. Should be done. You should be focused on me and you, not focused on getting back at your ex. Thoughts on that?
Interesting.
I agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Really?
I don't think no, I disagree. I mean, for one, we don't know that was the reason why she was in the performance.
No, you're right.
Serena Williams has been shown at different venues or events crip walking. And she's from Compton, right? I think she's from Compton.
Yes.
So that's what they do, right? So
well,
I don't know.
Wait a minute. That's not what they do. That is an area of Compton that might happen in, but it's not like a Compton dance.
But let me rephrase.
Oh, okay.
Do you know anybody from Atlanta crip walking?
I don't know everybody in Atlanta, but I'm sure there's
somebody out there. Do you know
anybody
from Philadelphia crip walking?
I don't know.
And for you and for those who may be listening, where usually crip walking is originated from?
It is
Thank you, Sharma.
Yeah, it is from LA.
Thank you. Now, as I will finish. Now, as I was saying, no one knows that was the real reason why she was doing it. As Sharma said, she did it in Wimbledon, and her husband was happy she did it. So the issue is, it just seems convenient that she is up there with Kendrick while he's doing Not Like Us and crip walking.
Mm-hmm.
So one might put 1 and 2 together and say, oh, she's doing an extra dig at her husband. Now, I remember there was a couple
not her husband.
News out, not her husband, but Drake.
Yeah.
There's a couple of news outlets that said, oh, look at Game Over, and she got Serena Williams crip walking on Drake. So I don't know. I'm a little surprised at Stephen A. Smith for saying that, but I mean, I could see why he would put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I could. If from his logic, I agree. I didn't even move this dang thing. From his logic, I think
the real question is, do y'all think that was an appropriate venue to throw a jab at Drake?
From her or from Kendrick?
No, from Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
Because before you answer, there was a story that the NFL actually, after the performance, apologized to Lil Wayne for not selecting him to be on the show.
I saw that. Well, I saw reports of that.
Why would the NFL do that? Do you think it's because they felt sorry, or they saw after Kendrick's performance, they was like, we made a mistake. We should have got Lil Wayne out there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think they should have had Lil Wayne out there. The Super Bowl's in LA next year. Have Kendrick for that. But Kendrick is hot right now. Lil Wayne hasn't came out in a while. I mean, Lil Wayne's still Lil Wayne, but in my personal opinion. But yeah, Drake dated SZA too. That boy dated everybody.
He ain't like Common though. Common been all over the place.
Nah, that's true.
Common been all over the place.
Common is a relationship ruiner. Like Erykah Badu got ruined because of Common, and Andre 3000. But yes, Erykah Badu has never been the same since then. Now he's dating Jennifer Hudson or something like that.
Yeah.
Scott Roy said her husband clapped back. What did her husband say? I missed that. But he must clap back at Stephen A. Smith. So yeah, I think it was a good performance. I think there were so many Easter eggs. Wearing the lowercase a, referring to A minor, was a dig at Drake that some people put together. She said comments for the streets. Hey, that boy stay in the streets. But yeah, I think it was a good performance.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's top 5. And I already told you 4 of the top 5: Prince, Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, K. Dot. I'm gonna get killed if I don't put Beyonce up there. But
I don't think she's up there. I was saying
Drake.
Yeah.
That's probably my top 5. But Bruno Mars was real good. I think that's probably, if it wasn't for Prince and Michael Jackson, which you got to go back and watch the YouTube to see those. And for Prince's, it was raining. He performed Purple Rain. It was like perfect. Like you would think they set that up. But that was before, post a lot of theatrics that they have now. Did you see that report about how much it cost for Kendrick to do the Super Bowl? Like how much he got paid and how much basically the amount that he got paid, or excuse me, the amount the Super Bowl pays, because he doesn't get paid for performing, was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. But the amount that was paid was the Super Bowl pays him to perform, or not pays him, but gives him to perform, to set everything up. All that was done just in the stage. Was K. Dot Super Bowl.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there was a stat that said that Kendrick Lamar has the most watched Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
I did see
Beat
that.
Michael Jackson out just slightly.
Yeah. Which is
and while
crazy.
you're looking for that, I think personally, I agree he would be in my top 5 performances. But at first, I must admit, when I saw, I was like, man. But then, talking to Sharma and doing some research and look at the little messages in there, I was like, okay, I get it now. But what is also interesting, Kid Rock, y'all probably don't know who Kid Rock is. I don't know. I mean, I know who Kid Rock is. I'm being facetious here.
Mm-hmm.
But Kid Rock goes on one of these talk shows and claims that show that Kendrick Lamar did was the DEI centric.
Oh, I did see that with the American flag and all that stuff. Him being in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on a Bill Later show, I think. Bill Mayer show. And it's like, are you serious? So Kid Rock is a big supporter of Donald Trump. I think he was on stage during the Republican convention.
Mm.
But he actually said it was like a DEI-centric, like middle finger up to the masses. And there was some folks that actually was mad that Kendrick Lamar didn't have any white people in the show.
I saw that.
And this kind of leads into our next topic. We won't go into that in a minute, but this just tells me, is this the state of America that we're in now?
No.
I mean, like, geez, man. Man. Like, I've never heard a more vilified word lately than DEI. Say DEI. People just like, ugh. Like, you'll be walking down the street smiling. It's a lovely day, DEI. It's like, I'm almost sad my name has D in it. If I say, what's your name?
That is crazy. That is crazy.
What is going on? Yo, chat, if y'all chat, tell me, what is y'all thoughts on DEI? Yo, just, you ain't got to go into detail, because I know not only that, I won't get into that. I'll say this too. Not only is DEI a scary word, but what you say is scary now. I get to a point where I think people are afraid to say anything now. They're like, you might be like, I don't like the fact eggs is too much money. and the doors come rushing in, people come grab you, snatch you up. What is going on? Am I the only one that feels that way? Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting because I'm going all day.
I don't think you are. I just I think it's more funny than anything. Like it's just more funny. I don't have too much opinion on it. It's just funny more than anything. And when I say funny, I just think people over heighten what it is and need to learn to adjust to what it is. Like, stop thinking about how messed up it is, how torn. Yeah, it might be a little bit messed up, but learn to adjust. Spend more of that energy adjusting and figuring out how to live your life than complaining about what's going on like you're going to change it. Complain. Have your rant. Like you always told me, when you miss promotion, you got one day to have your pity party, but after that, you back on the bus.
I don't know. I think, I guess that for me, the thing that's concerning is I think there are a lot of Americans feel like every day they're living on a cliff. They just don't know when the rocks underneath them is going to fall out and they're going to fall, because there's like so much change that's going on. And I won't say all of it is bad. Some of it is good. But case in point, like all of these federal workers that are getting dismissed from their job. And let's be honest, like America, we spend money like it ain't nothing. I mean, we're the richest country in the world.
Are we still?
But yes, I don't know, but I would think we are.
Go ahead.
I think we make more money than China. We spend more money, 3-4 times more in our military budget. I know that much.
The United States is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. GDP. China has the second largest. Yeah, you might be right. By economy. Yes, you're right.
Okay, so we spend money like it's nothing. We have a lot of programs we spend money that are wasteful. I mean, don't get me wrong, like F-35. F-35 is a phenomenal weapon system, but look how much money we spent on that thing. That's just one example. And so this idea of looking in the government and finding ways where we're wasting money, I mean, I think that's always good. There's always a bit of an uncomfortable feeling when you have somebody look in your backyard to see what you're doing, especially when it comes to money, especially from the taxpayers. But I think the way we're executing it is in question. Here's an example. An example I would use of people living on a cliff is there was this post courtesy of the Airman NCO page. And you gotta always take that stuff as a grain of salt when you look on there. But I have a feeling that there are more people like this person. But this person on this page wrote a post that said they are a worker within the Department of Defense crisis hotline, and they just found out today they were fired. Apparently this person is a military spouse. She was on probation and she just got dismissed.
That's great.
So yeah, I mean, can you imagine waking up and you're fired and you didn't do nothing wrong? I mean, yeah, some folks will argue and say, oh, you can still get unemployment, but that's a job, man. So it's just like you got this thing where they're putting out these messages offering people to just resign, and then called, I believe, the fork in the road. And then you have those folks that take it. Then this kind of reminds me of force shaping in the military back in the day. You remember
that's exactly
that?
what it is. Yep, exactly what it is.
It's like, yo, we need a bunch of people to get out. We're going to let you get out in 15 years, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then a bunch of people take it. Then after that, we need more people. Okay, so if you don't have all fives on your EPR, you're going to have to go. Then it came down to looking specific. I remember at Joint Base Andrews, there was a master sergeant. I'll never forget it. This master sergeant had one PT fail, and he had one mark down on his EPR, the EPR the year prior. And I was called into the commander's office. It's like, yeah, this person, he's being discharged.
Damn.
And when I told him, he was like, I don't get it. Like, it came down to like, he was like, I have a master's degree. And these people you're allowing to stay don't even have a bachelor's degree. Why do I have to go? And I'm trying to explain to him, like, hey, you got this PT failure. He said, but I got a recent one. I could take another one right now. I mean, he was fighting to stand, but they let him go. And then they found out years later, they discovered the Air Force or the DOD was like, that was a bad idea. We let too many people out. So
yeah, I remember that. It's kind of the same thing. And I think the interesting part is if anybody takes that, they don't replace that position. They're like, okay, I guess you don't need it. Figure it out how to do it without.
There are some positions where they will, depending on how critical they are, you can advocate to keep a certain amount of positions.
Okay.
But there's not many. So anyway, I kind of got ahead of myself here.
Yeah. One thing, you're talking about spending money. Did you see that thing about how much the Pentagon spend on coffee cups in 2018?
Oh, no, I didn't. I think I heard something like that. Well, how much was it?
How much would you guess in 2018? How much would you guess it would cost to replace 25 coffee cups? How much would you guess?
How much could I guess? I don't know.
These are just coffee cups. How much would you think a coffee cup is? And then we'll just times it by 25.
20 cents.
All right, so 20 cents. We'll do so 20 cents a coffee cup. So 0.20 times 25. So you think it's $5.
Okay.
$32,000
for coffee cups.
For 25 coffee cups in 2018. A figures that average roughly $1,280 per cup. This funding says that the Pentagon spends a massive $800 billion annual budget. That goes into the $800 billion annual budget. It's $32,000 worth of coffee cups. So when you say yes, we do spend an astronomical amount of money on crazy stuff, that is one of them. $1,000 for a coffee cup is freaking crazy.
Where you get that from?
Let me get the exact quote. Now I gotta find it.
Because here's my argument. Our current president, was he not in the White House when we were spending that money?
Oh, yeah. So Yahoo reported this.
Okay.
We were overpaid by 8,000%.
Just because you were in the office and you did nothing doesn't mean you can't do anything now. I will say that. But I guess to your point, there is some benefit of doing a deep dive into our government to save money. My concern is there are some programs or initiatives is hurting some people. Again, like your federal workers, man. Like, there's got to be a better way. I mean, I can't imagine. Can you imagine someone like who wakes up and then all of a sudden their job is gone and they did nothing? It's like Thanos. You just click you snap your fingers, you're gone.
That's kind of what it is.
Being a GS employee was almost like a gimme where it's like you would need an act of Congress to be gone. And it's just like that, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I think they said the Air Force spent over $150,000 in soap dispensers.
Is that bad?
Oh, $150,000 in soap dispensers?
Why is that bad?
That's an astronomical amount of money for soap dispensers.
How much do you think they should have spent?
100,000, or I'll say 50,000.
I mean, you got to think, how big is the Air Force and how many bathrooms they have and how many areas? Remember, this is probably during COVID. Might have been during COVID, right?
I think it was.
And even if it wasn't during COVID, there has been an emphasis of making sure people are taking care of themselves hygiene-wise to prevent the spread of diseases. There's a
no. It was in 2024. A 2-year audit by the Department of Inspector General found Boeing overcharged the Air Force by 8,000% for soap dispensers, that the service paid $149,000 over market price of the selected 46 separate parts that were scrutinized, blah, blah, blah. Audit Air Force overpaid about $1 million for 12 of the C-17 transfer plates. Okay, so there's a lot of overspending. Basically, Boeing just got us. Boeing got us with the okie dokie.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, I guess that kind of leads into my next topic that I would love to get into is the more initiatives or decisions being made that I think has caused kind of a what's the right terminology? I can't
Uproar?
think of it right now. Yeah, I guess in some way, like case in point. I'm sure you're familiar with the order from the president to bring back 8,000 active duty and reserve service members that didn't take the COVID vaccine.
I thought they had the option to come back.
Yes, I'm sorry, the option.
Okay.
So there
Okay.
was executive order signed on 27 January 25, allowing members who did not take the COVID-19 who were discharged to come back with full back pay and benefits. Now, here's the kicker. Interestingly enough, I didn't notice that if you voluntarily left the military, you can still come back, but you won't get back pay. Isn't that
Interesting.
interesting?
So how many people
Yeah,
actually
only
got
if you
kicked
were
out?
discharged.
Yeah.
They said over 8,000 people. They said over 8,000. I don't know how many of those volunteered versus how many of those that actually was discharged. But here's my argument. And here's a thought for you guys and for yourself. I'm curious to hear what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, there's one side that believes the order to take the COVID-19 wasn't a legal order.
Was
Then you had
not.
some that believe it was not. Then you
Okay.
had some people that believe it was a legal order. What do you think? Was it a legal order in your opinion?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because there's nothing immoral, illegal, or unethical about telling somebody to take a shot that was mandated. It was
And that
mandated that at the time that all members of the armed forces, I think, I'm thinking here, so please give me grace. At the time, I think it was mandated we all get COVID shots. So that seems like a lawful order to me.
yes.
Just like,
Eh,
go ahead.
No, and I agree. I think what message does it send when you allow folks who disobeyed a lawful order to come back and get back pay and all that stuff? What about the folks who took the shot?
Right.
There are probably some folks who are
Thanks for
like, "You're a
following
dummy,
orders.
you took it."
Thanks,
Yeah, you know what I'm
thanks for
saying?
following
Like,
orders.
what happens the next time, God forbid, a lawful order comes out and they be like, "Oh, well, you don't have to take it. Don't worry. If you take it, you get kicked out. There's a possibility you might get pulled back
Mm-hmm.
and be
And get back pay.
vindicated."
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why can't we get back pay? You know, we took the shot. What happens to us? Like, I would imagine, like, what is that going to look for our VA benefits, right? Hopefully we'll still have some. But anyway, how does that look for our VA benefits when they look it up and say, you took the COVID vaccine?
That's a good point.
You know, because like there's a reason, I would imagine there's a reason why they're bringing them back. And they're telling them, like, hey, you didn't have to take the COVID vaccine, so we're going to pardon you and bring you back.
Mm-hmm.
But for the folks that did take it, is there some future unforeseen health issues that may occur that we don't know about? What happens to us?
Nothing. Thanks for doing what you were told to do. Keep doing. Keep fighting the fight.
Yes. Isn't this, I look at this, isn't this the same as when they came out with the anthrax shot?
I don't remember that. What happened when they
It
came
wasn't,
out the anthrax?
I think at the time it was controversial, but nowhere near as controversial as the COVID-19.
I remember before we could go deployed, it was mandatory we have it. And then it was a series of boosters you had to get. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. Like I didn't make it all the way through my series. And they were like, oh, you ain't got to take it no more. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But anthrax was a huge deal. I mean, was that back in the 90s? Was it early 2000s?
It was like, yeah, early 2000s, I would
When
say.
did anthrax? 2001 anthrax attack in the United
2001.
States brought the disease to public attention. The attack occurred. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to a lesser degree, yeah, but I think like back to your point, I think you're looking at it from a strategic type level and thinking from that way, which you hope the people in charge think that way. It is kind of crazy to say, hey, you disobeyed a direct order, but go ahead and come back, because I still don't know what the because is. Because you didn't have to take it. They're saying it's a unlawful order. It was an unlawful order.
There are some folks that subscribe to the notion that it wasn't a legal order.
But what's the point of bringing them back?
I think because it's politics. It is among many other things that was from the previous administration that the new administration decided they want to, in their opinion, make it right. And so this is one of them. These folks were jettisoned out of the military during the previous administration's time in the office. I have some friends who are caught up in that, who are going to be asked if they want to come back. But for me,
good point.
My concern is again, it was in my opinion, the president made it a lawful order, and it was brought down to the Department of Defense as a lawful order. It's no different than the DEI initiatives. There are an executive order from the president that was pushed down to the forces in the DOD, and they're executing it. So if for some reason I decided, you know what, I am going, I don't think the DEI stuff is a legal order, I'm not going to follow. Well, you're going to get discharged. So what'll happen in 4 years? Do I get to come back because I didn't follow the DEI stuff? It could happen. Now, that's not saying I'm not going to follow the DEI stuff. I'm following it now. I'm just saying it as an example. So when folks seem to think it wasn't a legal order, I disagree with that. It was a legal order. You had a choice. Just like you have a choice to follow the orders now. You chose not to follow them. You got discharged. But then when a new administration comes in, they want to allow you to come back. What does that mean for folks who took the shot? That's my only issue.
Matt Morris says, read the dictionary definition is unethical, immoral, and unethical, immoral, and unethical again. I think he meant illegal. But it's kind of vague. Like, it just says, so if you look up immoral, it says no morals, not moral, conflicting with general or traditional held morals or principles. It was immoral for her to tell a lie.
Let's just ask Matt Morris outright. Matt Morris, do you agree it was a legal order or not? I'm curious. I saw Sharma's comment and said those who didn't want the vaccine requesting an exemption. I agree.
Yep.
And there were people that did it.
Yep.
Why do you, whatever 8,000 that decided to get discharged, decide you don't want to follow a lawful order or legal order, however you want to put it, and then you get to come back with back pay? Something about that don't seem right to me. I don't know why. Something about that don't seem right.
Immoral.
It just don't seem right, man.
You're right.
You know, like there are times when you're going to get orders in the military that you're not going to like, and if you don't follow them, that's the whole purpose of the military: following orders.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. All right, we want you to cut your arm off because you're going to be affected if you walk outside. That's something different. Even then, you can decide to not take the order. You're going to get kicked out. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. And I would argue the people that got kicked out, they knew or understood the decision they were making.
Oh, yeah.
They said, you know what, not for me. And they said, okay, well, you can exit. Cool, they exited. And I don't know how many went off into the civilian sector and got jobs and all the other stuff. But they probably wasn't even thinking about the military. There are probably a couple of people that were like, oh, my military career ended because I didn't follow a legal order, or they thought an illegal order. Anyway, my thought process.
On an interesting note, something totally different. I know you're going to be like, But in the world of AI, I find it interesting. Did you hear Elon Musk said on Monday he's going to come out with Grok, Grok 3, which is a chat box, and he describes as the smartest AI on Earth. So Monday night, 8 o'clock Pacific time, there will be a demo of the Grok. And this model was trained over 100,000 NVIDIA GPUs and was reported value at $4 billion. Billion dollars. Anyway, Monday night, if you want to watch that.
I must admit, my first thought would be so. What is it's something about all this that just don't seem right to me. You got this world's richest man being in the world that is connected in some ways, is he not, to some of these federal workers that are getting fired?
How is he connected?
And we're talking about, well, isn't he part of the Doge group that are doing a deep dive into the government and the spending practices?
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine that's somewhat connected to it, right? Am I wrong? I just find it not interesting, or something wrong when you have the richest person in the world getting more richer and you got these people losing these jobs. Something about that don't seem right.
I mean, I think that's how it's always been. It's just this is a little more out there. Did you hear about the possible $400 million contract that Elon won for Tesla, government contract?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Trump administration set to purchase $400 million worth of armed Teslas, according to the PBS.
I did hear about that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
That seems immorally crazy.
Yeah, I guess they removed the word Tesla from it or something.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see what Matt Morris says. It was lawful. Sorry, hold on. Move this up. All right. It was lawful. I'm asking a question. Can you name an illegal order that has ever been given? Also, I'm not talking about the COVID shot as a leader ever given an unlawful order. That is interesting. Matt Morris, thank you for that. We need to talk about that.
It has. I just looked it up.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, go ahead.
So let me say this. Let me make sure I'm clear. Does he mean, has the U.S. military ever gave an unlawful order?
He said, has our leaders ever given unlawful order?
Okay, so an example comes to mind. I just looked up. One is in Abu Ghraib prison, the Abu Ghraib prison abuse. So the U.S. military personnel who was working at the prison in Abu Ghraib carried out several unlawful acts, torture and abuse against detainees. That's an example.
That's an act.
He said an order. Well, they told him to do it, right?
I don't know. I don't remember that Abu Ghraib.
My thing is, unless you're saying a U.S. military personnel there acted on their own, that's different.
Like, here's the question.
But I believe they were told to do it in order to extract information.
Okay. If that's, God dog, what the hell? How did I just do that? Come on now. Go back out. There, thank you. It's an interesting question, Matt Morris. And I guess I'll ask you, you have gave many orders. Have any of them been unlawful?
That's all through interpretation. I don't think so.
That's why I think Matt Morris was asking that question. I think it's all up to interpretation. Like,
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because there are some that's clearly, like, for instance, if I tell you to shoot a civilian, right? I mean, I would think where is there the part of, or a thought of, is it lawful or unlawful? You're shooting a civilian. Now, somebody might say, well, what's the story behind the civilian? Did the civilian commit a crime? Blah, blah. I'm talking about, if I order you, hey, I saw this civilian crosswalk, shoot him. Is that not unlawful order?
Yes.
That's unlawful order.
I would say when they come that easily, that simple, that would be an unlawful order. But I would think none of the orders come off that simple, because I think those are pretty easy to say if they're unlawful or not. But something like everybody will get the COVID shot. Is that lawful or unlawful?
I disagree. I think that's a lawful order.
No,
Here's
I
my thing.
agree.
Unless you're
You're saying some
saying
people thought it was
unless
unlawful.
you're saying there was no research, there was no type of endorsement by the president, who's the commander in chief, then I can see your point. But as far as I remember, there was some research, whether you believe it or not, because I remember there was a scandal back in the day. Oh, it's taken from chicken eggs or some stuff. I can't remember it to the degree. But it was endorsed by the president at the time and by the Department of Health, and the military leaders endorsed it as well. And so they made the order, in order to protect the force, you're going to take this COVID shot.
So she said the perception is orders can be negotiated. This is a military. Don't like it, leave it. Whoa.
I agree. And that's what they did. My issue is not with the folks who didn't take the shot. My issue is with the decision to bring them back to say that, hey, you're pardoned because you didn't take the shot. That's what my problem is. And let's just say hypothetically, they are right that there's something wrong with the COVID vaccine. My thing is, it's the military. At some point, you're going to have to follow orders. And what happens if you don't follow orders? One thing I always say, you don't follow orders, people die, right? So that's what my issue is. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. There's a lot of different times the military.
So let me ask you a question about that. And this is just your opinion, right? Your opinion. We didn't talk about this before, so I'm throwing that at you. Say you with the main expression that we always use is take a hill, right? To go attack the enemy. So if somebody orders me to take a hill by myself and they say you're going to die, there's no way you're going to make it. But the reason I'm telling you do this is because we're coming behind to flank them to take them out. And we need you to be basically a decoy. Is that lawful or unlawful?
Yes, it's lawful. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Unquestionably, it's lawful. Why do you disagree?
She's quoting A Few Good Men. Great quote. People don't follow orders. People who don't follow orders, people die. 100%. Great movie, by the way. One of my favorites. I think there should be thought process. If this was the only way, whatsoever, then yes, I think it's lawful. But other than that, I think it's definitely unlawful. Let me see. DC, you made my point. Oh shit. Shoot. He made my point with the unlawful order example you gave. When the orders are given, we follow. We won't say any order is unlawful until after the time has passed. That's what I'm saying. Agree.
I slightly disagree, because the COVID vaccine, these folks who didn't take it were claiming at the time it was unlawful. Not all, because there were some people that felt like because of their religion, they shouldn't take the shot or whatever. But there are quite a few that felt like it wasn't a legal or lawful order for them to take the shot. And then the counterpoint to that was, you look in their records, they took many of vaccines. How many people actually asked the doctor, show me what you're putting in the syringe before you inject it in my arm?
Good point. Man.
How many people are doing it? They could have already got the COVID vaccine. They wouldn't even known. What do? You walk in the hospital, you roll your sleeve up, and you turn to the right if you're squeamish like me. And you take the shot.
You punk.
Who knows what they injected in our arm?
Dang.
But guess what? It is the military. That's how it works. Hell, you go back to basic training when they gave you a string of shots. You don't know what they injected in you. I might grow a 7th toe in a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Bruh. I that was probably one of the best points you made on Unpopular Celebrities. Great point. Great point. I didn't know you were squeamish for shots. That's hilarious.
I am. I hate needles. I hate needles.
Can I talk about one more thing about Tesla, and then we can move on? Or I want to
Yeah,
talk about this.
absolutely.
I want to talk about this Mr. Beast thing quickly and hear your thoughts
Mr.
on
who?
it. Mr. Beast.
Who's that?
Mr. Beast is he started off as a YouTuber that does a bunch of YouTube challenges, gives people a lot of money. Like,
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear about that.
so Mr. Beast, who's very famous, and he put on a Amazon game show. It's called the Beast Challenge. Kind of like a Squid Games type of thing. They were dressed in Squid Games type thing. And the prize was $10 million.
Hmm.
That will have a massive tax deduction for Mr. Beast.
Hmm.
You want to hear the kicker?
What's that?
Say you win. Philly DC won $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think your take home would be?
10,000?
No, you won 10 million. How much of that do you think you actually get in hand, like in your bank account?
2 million?
Okay, well. So if you win a $10 million prize,
Okay.
the federal takes 37%. If it's $10 million, that is $3,700,000 gone. Off rip. Now, the great state of California also, when you win, holds a 13.3 tax percentage. That's $1,330,000 gone. So of this $10 million that you won, you actually take home about $4,900,700.
Yeah, I was close.
$4,907,700. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. I find that very interesting that Mr. Beast gets a huge tax deduction for doing that. And when you win, you get taxed a crap ton of money. It goes back to the analogy that, you know, when you get paid, you get taxed. And then when you buy things, you get taxed again. So you basically get double taxed every time you do anything.
Right.
Somebody put it
So
in
how
here
does he get a tax break?
because I think they classify as a donation. I think. I'm not sure exactly. He would have to ask his tax person, but anytime you do anything like that, you basically a tax deduction.
I guess
behind
it makes sense. So these YouTubers, like you said, that had these giveaways, they could claim it on their taxes.
Yeah, same thing we do for unpopular celebrities.
Oh, I didn't
For all the t-shirts and everything. Those are all giveaways.
give out more t-shirts then.
Yeah. But it costs money, make money. But yeah, the good thing is we're not getting a lot of money by doing the show, but it's kind of crazy. Somebody put in the comments, what do you expect? The government got to buy 25 coffee mugs for $32,000. But interesting point. Let me see. The Beast game. She said, I'll take that payment in increments. So, hey, that's another interesting question. Real quick. If you could hit the lottery, would you take an outright payout or would you take increments?
Increments.
Really?
I don't need it all at once. Yeah, I'll spend it all. I'll possibly spend it all. Give me increments, man. Like a paycheck. That's right. Give me increments. I'll spend it all.
The crazy thing, the increments are pretty high. It's like, but you're getting taxed per increment. I'm like, tax me all at once. Yeah. Like, tax me all at once.
Interesting. I didn't think about it that way.
All right. Tesla story?
Yes. That's interesting.
So I drive
Hey,
a
y'all,
Tesla.
put in the comments if y'all drive a Tesla. I'm curious.
I mean, I drive a Tesla. Love my Tesla. I think it's the best vehicle ever invented.
Debatable.
So I completely do think like that, not just because I'm a Tesla driver. I completely do. If I win, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs. 100%. I ain't telling the soul. I'll tell Philly like we rich now.
Yeah. Louis Vuitton OCP uniform on.
So never mind. I'm not gonna tell Philly. I was gonna tell Philly we rich, but never mind. I'm not gonna do that. That's hilarious. All right. According to the New York Post, are you ready for this story?
Yeah.
I'm a Tesla driver. Like I said, I love Tesla. But Beijing, China, interesting place. A woman, I can't pronounce her name, was sitting in the passenger seat of her Tesla Model 3 when she said she heard her father's panic voice, the brakes don't work. Approaching a red light, her father swerved around 2 cars before plowing into an SUV and a sedan and crashing into a large concrete barrier. This woman's name woke up glazing into a deflated airbag in front of her. She could not believe the image that came about her. Tesla sued her for defamation thank you, for complaining publicly about the car's brakes and won. There's a picture of her and her broken Tesla. So what happened was she got in this accident. She's sitting Indian style on top of the Tesla with the megaphone. So she did like she did like a big protest about it.
Didn't know about that one.
A Chinese court ordered this woman to pay more than $23,000 in damage and publicly apologize to the $1.1 trillion company. $23,000 is less than 0.0002% of that company's net worth. That woman is not only one to find herself in the crosshairs of Tesla and Elon Musk among the world's richest men, but over the last 4 years, Tesla has sued at least, Tesla has sued at least 6 bloggers and 2 Chinese media outlets that wrote critically about the company, according to reviews. Here's the kicker. Here's the last kicker. Tesla won all 11 cases from which AP could determine 2 judgments, including hers, are on appeal. 1 case was settled out of court. Find it very interesting that Tesla would countersue them right back.
Seems petty. It seems petty. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, well, first of all, like I mentioned earlier when we had this chat, where were these cases held? In China, right?
It looks like I'm trying to keep reading. Tesla has brought against amongst customers in review of public court documents. AP found Tesla won nearly 90% of civilian courses over safety, quality, or contract disputes bought by customers. So I think they were all in China.
That goes to show you, tell you, like all that already cements it right there. I do not see any company countersuing a consumer in America and winning. I would love to know. I should do the research, but like at the least they will defend it, they will win, and then maybe they pay for court fees. But you don't countersue a consumer. If you are a Tesla owner, maybe a Tesla owner and out of the United States, especially in China, I would be worried. Don't say nothing about Tesla. Don't say nothing. Especially if they didn't do any of the research to find out if there was really a manufacturer's defect with Tesla, with that Tesla vehicle.
According to Tesla, like you can, not according to Tesla, excuse me, according to me, they can see all that when you drive. So there's Tesla insurance that you can get. I could bring it up on my phone, on my app. I could apply for Tesla insurance, and it monitors how you drive, how many times you swerve into a lane, how many times you change lanes without using a turn signal, how many times you slam on your brakes, how many times you speed up going through lights. And that determines your risk factor as a driver. And that determines how much you pay, which changes monthly. But everything you do, how much you drive at night is determined.
That's whack. Other insurance companies do that too. They like USA, they had this thing that you put on your vehicle if you sign up for it, and it monitors your driving. Yo, get that, man. Like, yo, I don't want nobody monitoring what I'm doing.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, oh, you were speeding up in traffic. You floored it in 5th gear. We're gonna raise your insurance rates. Forget that, man.
Yep.
Get that, bro. Get that.
Yeah, so pretty interesting, man. But that is pretty crazy that
good old Tesla, the richest man in the world, got a countersue.
That's how the rich stay rich. That's how the rich stay rich. Anyway, anything else for today?
Yes. We still got a couple of things I would like to talk about, or we can save for another show, either or. I would like to talk about the tech sergeants that are going up for promotion testing. It will have to be delayed because the military, the Air Force, has got to pull out all the DEI stuff out.
Mhm.
So that's going to impact testing. So I'm trying to find a story here, but as always, the folks are not happy. The masses, well, most of them that's got to test. So apparently, the Air Force is delaying the start of the promotion testing cycle for tech sergeants.
It's
2
only
weeks.
delayed 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. But I mean, again, DEI. Oh, DEI. Don't say it. The bane of our existence, DEI. So anyway, until the questions can be removed, testers will still see DEI questions and are expected to answer all questions to the best of their ability. They won't score those questions. Your thoughts on that? Am I like really like going overboard? It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I think it's not that big of a deal. I also heard, and this could not be true, that they're going to leave the questions on there now, but if they get them wrong or get them right, they're not going to be scored.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. I heard that too.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's not that big of
Well,
a deal.
I
But
guess maybe another way you could look at it is if you like for my son, he gets 2 more weeks
yeah,
of study.
but my question, dang, he's going up for tech already?
Yeah.
Oh, it's time for me to go. He made tech and I'm still a master. That's crazy.
Ah,
But I'm trying to think, like, what was a DEI question? What could, like, who was the first Medal of Honor winner? Is that a DEI
Could it be?
question?
It could be
Tuskegee
something
Airmen?
that's yeah. Yeah.
So do you think the Levito should still be a ALS award? Is that a DEI thing or no?
No, Levito
Oh, okay.
was won by Caucasian airmen.
Oh, so it's good because he's white? That's crazy.
Well, technically, there was a message from the Air Force that was put out doing away with a lot of special trophies and awards dealing with DEI.
Let me see what she
So,
says.
example, like Chief Fred Archer, Roy Wilkins, the big award.
Yeah. How do you say her first name? Shamar?
I think it's girl, please forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. Is it Sharma or Sharma?
You said the same thing twice. Is it Sharma or Sharma?
Yeah, it could be pronounced.
Curious to see what captures under this D9 umbrella. Some saying the first African American or first female is fact, not DEI, but I could see why it would be removed. So Esther Blake is gone. No more Esther.
Maybe it could be Esther Blake.
She said that's correct.
Yeah. Again, it's like you walk down the street, you smiling.
Yeah, Sean.
DEI.
Man, not the scammer. Yeah. Come on, man. Stay off the view, bruh. Please nobody click that chat.
What?
Cheap review on streamboo.com. Please nobody click on that.
What?
Somebody put in the chat from Twitch that they're basically trying to don't click that. But anyway, it's open to interpretation what consider. That's what my problem is. I don't know what DEI really is. Like, what is like she said, the umbrella that covers it. And back to, man, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I'll say this while we're exiting. That's why when we started the DEI initiative, I was really confused with what the hell it was. And I know 2 good NCOs that were over DEI. And it's like, we're going to have tough conversations. And it's like, all right, bro, cool. Let's have these tough conversations. And I'm going to be the spokesperson for DEI. So it's important to know what your white counterparts are going through and what their female counterparts are going through. Like, all right, bro, let's sit here and have a conversation about it. Cool.
Okay. Wow. No, hey, I will agree to a certain extent what you're saying. I think DEI, we always had some form of DEI since I've been in the military. But I think it got enhanced after the George Floyd incident. And then you had the narrative of, talking about critical race theory and things of that nature. There is some benefit of it. I think what happened is, I think we went so far to one side in it. I think folks who may not be minorities maybe got to a point like it's getting out of hand, And I think that's probably what's happening with DEI. I think, when the president say it should be based on merit, I do agree with that. I do. I don't want to be hired because I'm African American or a male or heterosexual. I don't want to be hired primarily because of that. I want to be hired because I'm the most well qualified. However, there's always a danger of folks who are in positions who have a agenda. And they may feel like, case in point, I hired you because we got an office full of women, but we need one male because you will appeal to male customers. So we hired because you're male. Or I couldn't hire you because you're not Filipino and you wouldn't work well with all the other workers who are Filipino.
Wait, isn't that what like bars, strip clubs, and all these other things do?
Oh, really? What you know about strip club? You know about the strip club?
I mean, I've
What's
been to
going on,
strip club
Chad?
before.
Take a picture, Chad. Take a picture, Chad. Oh, you dropping dollars. Oh, shoot.
You know what? Interesting fact about Pete. I've been to probably 4 strip clubs in my life. 5, maybe 5 in my whole life.
More than me.
I have not spent more money than just the cover charge.
I'm not surprised, you old cheap bastard.
I have not thrown $1 or gave somebody $1 ever in my life.
I'm not surprised.
Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Yeah, I remember. I ain't gonna lie. One day we went for my boy's retirement ceremony. He wanted to go after his retirement, which is cool that he likes that stuff, whatever. So I happened to have $100 in my pocket, like $100 bill. So it's $20 cover charge to get in. So I paid $20. You know they gave me back $80 in ones. I was like, man, what the hell am I doing with this?
You gonna be funny to say, bro.
I ain't throwing this nowhere.
$81 bill.
So you know how much money I took home? $80 in ones. Heck no. But back to my point, isn't that what people do when they hire people for certain establishments? They're like, yo, you would appeal to my customers. So, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be this person. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
I see your point because there's a difference between having that mentality versus saying, hey, oh no, we only have one African American. We need another one. We'll hire you because we have to make sure we have enough African Americans. So I guess there's some differences in that. I think DEI goes far beyond, in my opinion, hiring practices and also just ensuring that folks have a bit of fairness when it comes to opportunity, right? So more than just race, but gender and sexual preference and things of that nature. So if you have a business that says, I don't want to hire someone that's transgender, DEI would insert in there and be like, hey, you can't do that. Discriminate somebody because of their sexual gender or preference. But with DEI gone, you don't have that no more. They don't have to do that.
But so
I see. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I think my qualm with that, I think it's going to happen regardless if it's a thing or not.
He said, wait a minute. Are you saying cabarets are the equal opportunity employer?
Who's cabaret?
I think cabaret, I guess. Cabaret.
I don't know what that is.
I think cabaret is like a form of a strip club, maybe.
Oh.
Sharma, tell us if we're wrong or not.
I don't think cabarets are not equal opportunity. If you weigh 412 pounds, well, maybe this is niche for you, but they're probably not going to be a strip. I don't know. But no, I think it's going to happen regardless whether you put DEI in or take it out. Like, if I don't want to hire you, I'm not going to hire you.
There you go. I think that's it right there.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I couldn't say it's because you're a transgender. Okay, cool. I won't say it. It might be the meaning. Like, you know what's funny? We do this. Wait, let me stop. It could possibly be happening in the military since we were in. Like, the Army makes a big deal out of having to take a photo before they get promoted. And they were like, oh, you're fat, so we're not going to promote you. Move it to the side. That's DEI.
I wouldn't say that. That's standards, right?
Well, you look fat. You might meet all your PT standards 100%, but you look
But
fat in your uniform.
if they have a written standard that says you have to meet a certain standard of
No, they meet
professional
the standards.
appearance. No, wait a minute. I'm
sorry.
talking about the way they look in uniform. Like you have first sergeants who want to be first sergeants that meet the standard. But if someone looks at their picture and they say you look too fat in uniform, they won't push them forward.
Right. So that happens, but they won't say that. They won't say it.
No,
Well, maybe they will.
They tell them, yeah, they say it.
Oh, okay.
They say it.
Well, now I guess
They
you
say
just
it.
can't say it. Well, no, I'm sorry. Back to you can say it. So if you could say, wait. If you could say it before, that wasn't a DEI thing.
No, I don't think that was DEI. I think
So
that's
I
just,
guess it would be like if you're
think
going for a job.
if they said, like, say, for instance, you are you go up for an award or for a job, and let's say you have a disability,
Right.
right? Then I think DEI would be involved in that.
I think that's
No.
always been a thing
What's that?
that you couldn't hire or you couldn't tell somebody because of a disability they couldn't do it. They couldn't get hired for the job.
But that's
Now I can
under
say
the
it.
umbrella of DEI. Now you can pretty much not hire somebody because they have a disability, and you won't be no issue.
Okay, cool.
There won't be an issue.
I don't see a problem with that. I really don't see an issue with that.
So what if they said we ain't gonna hire you because your hairline's jacked up?
Okay. I'll go find a job somewhere else.
You wouldn't be upset?
No.
Dang.
I would be, you know what? Let me stop. I would be upset. I would be pissed off, but that's not going to get me hired. And then back to your point, I don't want to get a job just because of my skin color. So it's 50, it goes, you're trying to balance the ways. Like one hand, I don't want to walk into a job. You got 30 other people more qualified than me, but they're like, you know what? We got to hire one African-American in Philly, DC. Congratulations. You're the first African-American we see. Ding, 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 ding. You're the winner. And you get to get a job. And 20 other people are upset. It's like, yo, I well out qualified this person. So I understand that avenue. And I also understand the other side where they're like, I just don't like the way you look. But like, I'll give you a perfect example. Man, I'll give you a perfect. Way back in the day, I applied to work at Best Buy before I ever started the military. Way back in the day, 25 years ago, something like that, almost more. I had a boy that worked at Best Buy who got me into the first interview. This 3-part interview that I had to go through, like a group interview, personal interview, and then I had to go with the manager. I didn't get hired. My boy tells me, he asked the manager, like, why didn't he get hired? Why didn't you hire? He said, I could tell by the way he walked, he was lazy. And I didn't get hired.
Wow. He said you can tell by the way he walked. He's lazy. How did you walk? So here's the thing.
I walked to make sure I wasn't going to trip and fall.
What did the manager look like?
He's I remember this dude distinctly. White dude, tall, probably like 6'4". Mm-hmm. He had a beard, glasses. Right? Yeah.
So my thing is, if this is true, you know, there is a stereotype of African American folks that we are lazy.
Yeah.
And if he had that bias already, you are already doomed from the first start. I think that's where DEI comes into play there. But anyway, at least I think.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, kind of. I mean, obviously, it affected me some type of way because I never forgot that story. Like at the time, I was like, "What in the hell?" But like
here's
I said,
here's my thing. I can get with the merit part. My issue is the elimination of milestones in history that celebrate minorities. That's what my issue is. DEI should not have nothing to do with the Tuskegee Airmen or Esther Blake or anything dealing with milestones by minorities. There's a reason why we are the minority. That's why it's rare. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone pulls out a stack of bills and you see 10, 20, $10, $20 bill, $50 bill, but you see a $2 bill, you be like, oh wow, this person has a $2 bill, y'all. Look, everyone, he has a $2 bill. And somebody say, what's the big deal with that? Are you serious? It's a $2 bill. How many people? You got a $2 bill? Do you? Do you? How many people in a crowd of 50 has a $2 bill? Not many, right? But when somebody see a $2 bill, they get excited. Wow, it's a $2 bill. To me, I see that as the accomplishments of folks who are minority. The other day, I saw a post, the U.S. Marines, after 246 years, had their first black 4-star general.
A female too, right?
No, it's male.
Oh, okay.
And so people will get in the chat and say, I'm so tired of this. Who cares what race he is? Blah, blah, blah. The issue is it's a celebration like, hey, this is it's a first. It's a first. Now, if you use that as a means to hire somebody or put somebody in a position, to me, that is the issue. He should have been hired, and I hope he should have been hired because he is the most qualified, not because he will be the first African-American.
Yes.
So in the end, my rant is I can get with the merit piece, merit-based. But when you do away with, our first, the Tuskegee Airmen, one of the first African-American pilots, Eugene Bullard, when you do away with that, you're doing away with history. What are you trying to tell people when you don't want them to know that information?
Wait, I don't know what you're trying to tell them to answer your question. It wasn't important? I don't know.
That for them to take it out? Or?
Yeah. I'm answering your question. You said, what do you think is the mindset when somebody takes it out?
Why would they think or imply that's not important? That's why I don't understand.
That I don't understand.
It is important. Like case in point, right? We know, and in the books it'll say, who was the first president? George Washington. Who was the 5th president, 10th president, 12th president? So when they get to former President Barack Obama, what are they going to say? Right? When they get to General Colin Powell, what are they going to say? My thing is, if you don't want it to be a narrative where we say the first this, first that, I got it. But don't take away the knowledge of the history. It's still a milestone. If you don't want to put down Eugene Bullard, the first African-American pilot, right? If you want to say Eugene Bullard, the first pilot, I'm fine with that.
No, you can't say first anything. And Philly, I have never agreed with you more than right now. You know how I am about this first crap. I think it's all just, man, I could be the first person that did a handstand while arming up with an M9 pistol going to work. Like, I mean, you could make a first anything. So I think when we do it, it got, like you said, pushed the pendulum too far. And now they're pushing it back. And as you push it back, you take out some things that shouldn't be taken out because you're trying to gauge this all the way back or pull it all the way back. But at the same time, if you're saying, what's his name, Eugene Bullard?
Eugene Bullard, yeah.
If all he's known for is being African-American, was he the first black pilot?
He was the first African-American pilot. He was originally from France, actually.
Okay. So if all he's known for is being the first African-American pilot, then there's nothing substantiated there to keep him in the history books, in my personal opinion. If Esther Blake was just the first female, there's nothing significant in there to keep her in there. Now, if you're talking about somebody like Rosa Parks, who, not that she was the first black woman to sit on the front of the bus, she took a stand and said, I will sit on the front of the bus. That's the important part. Not her race, not her gender. It's what she did. Did that help out with future genders and races? 100%. But my thing is focus on the event and don't focus on just the color or sexual orientation or whatever sexuality of the person.
I think there's a difference, though. If there's something that leads to if it leads to the narrative or the significance of the event, going back to what you just said, Eugene Bullard, the first African American pilot documented, right? That was a time when they felt like African Americans could not do jobs such as that, being a pilot. That was a time where there were a lot of African Americans still going through discrimination. And so, if I remember correctly, when I read his story, people were amazed that he was a black man flying a plane. So I think there is something to be said when you say he was the first African American pilot, because it leads to what was going on during that time. Now, this, for instance, the first African American 4-star general in the U.S. Marines. To me, that is an example where you don't necessarily need to even bring that up. He is a general in the United States Marines. Yes, he's the first African American, but there's no need to put that in there. However, for Eugene Bullard, he was the first African American pilot because during that time, there were no African American pilots. So to me, there's a difference.
So, okay. I still don't see the significance. I really don't. So I know a while ago, the Security Forces Squadron somewhere did an all-female guard mount.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one. Yeah,
okay, so those are the parts that's how I compare those two to be the same. Like, so what, you were the all-female guard mount? Like, what y'all do? It's almost like writing an EPB. Like, you put in there like whatever the word is, streamlined. First all-female, participating in the first all-female guard mount.
Made history.
In history, yeah. Okay.
Trailblazer.
Right. So it's like, what? That's exactly how I think of these things. Like your boy, what's his name again? The pilot?
Eugene Bullard.
Yeah,
you made tech, man. You should know this.
Anyway, like Eugene Butler. I must have missed that. Butler, whatever. Jimmy Butler's the only Butler I know.
Bullard, Bullard.
Oh, Bullard. Anyway, insignificant. Like, if you like, my thing is like Levito, he's important for the act that he did. He's not important because he was just a young guy on a plane. He's important for the act that he did. As an A1C, which doesn't really matter to me, he just happened to be the right place at the right time, did the right thing, or wrong place, whatever. But that's why it's significant to me about the award. But if there's a Esther, what's his name, Bullard? If there's a
Eugene Bullard,
okay, Eugene Bullard award, or if there's a Esther Blake award, I'm like, for what?
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Why do I always amaze you?
Wow, man.
Like, here, you get the Eugene Bullard award. Eugene Butler was the first African American pilot, and the winner is Philly, DC. It's like, might as well make a Dominic Peterson award.
Wow.
Like,
so I am wrong. I will apologize to the audience. He was born in America. He was born in Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, but he flew for the French Foreign Legion. So I got that mixed up. Yes, he's the first African American pilot, but he flew in France for the French.
Oh, that's
but
crazy.
He was born in America. So when he was in America, they wouldn't allow African Americans to fly. So he went to France as a teenager, stowed away on a ship in Europe, and settled in France. That's when World War I broke out. He joined the French Air Service, which soon started flying combat missions for the Lafayette Flying Corps.
Oh, cool.
So to me, that is significant because, again, yes, people hate to hear the first African American, the first female, the first Asian American. I think, to your point, it has blown out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
To me, in this sense here, it is significant and important to recognize, yes, his achievement was, not only was he the first African-American pilot documented in history, he was a war hero. To me, that deserves being highlighted. However, I don't care if so-and-so is the first African-American hockey player. I don't care. I really don't care.
Right.
But if Esther Blake, the first female to join the U.S. Air Force, I do care. I think
don't
that's
care.
significant. Okay.
And back to, I'm going to mispronounce her name again.
Sharma.
Thank you. First are significant and historical. They aren't weighed the same. And that's how I feel about the Esther Blake. You are the first. Okay, cool. Don't care.
Wow.
Like, it does not move my needle at all.
Where's my thing? The
Like,
views represented by
that's
my
like, you know what? You my dog. But if they said, we're going to put Philly, DC in history for being the first 6'4" African-American command or 3-time command chief master or chief, what are you? Command chief from Philadelphia. Because he's the only 6'4" African-American 3-time command chief from Philadelphia. So we're going to put him in the history book.
I mean, technically, I am the first African-American command chief in IMSC.
Okay.
Boom. I don't care.
Oh, boom.
I don't care.
That's huge. Hey, wait. We have a historical figure inside Unpopular Celebrities. I'm sorry. Great command chief.
Let me walk this back. Let me walk this back. So, case in point, Joanne Bass was the first female chief master sergeant in the Air Force.
Don't care.
Now, okay. Now, for her, she cares. For some ladies, they care. It's important for them because it broke a barrier. I think in the end, the happy medium for me is a changing of the mind of folks on two sides. One, you have the crowd that gets irritated when they hear first fill in the blank, minority or African American, Christian, first transgender, first gay or lesbian. You fill in the blank. You have that one crowd that be like pissed off because they said, what's that got to do with anything? Let's just concentrate on the achievement. Who cares? Like, to your point, who cares, right? Then you have another crowd that says, oh, that's crazy. Like, say, individual be like, the first female, I'm a female, not literally, but I'm a female. I'm like, I'm happy. Hey, go girl, you're the first. If a female, she can make it, I can make it. Yeah, groundbreaking. People just need to just ignore the noise and allow people to have their moment and forget about it. Who cares if you get upset? You don't like the way it's said in the headlines. Scroll past it. And if you're the person that do care, don't get mad because nobody else doesn't care.
Okay.
And just leave it 50-50 and just go from there. Because I can see both sides of the coin. Case in point, good example is when the Eagles drafted Cooper DeJean and they had Reed Blankenship, DeJean, and they had Reed Blankenship. People were like, oh my God, they don't usually see white cornerbacks in the NFL, especially who are good. They called him, actually, he's a cornerback.
He's a safety.
He's a cornerback.
Oh, here we go.
That plays DB. Oh, you talking about Reed or Cooper?
Blankenship.
Reed is a safety. Cooper is a cornerback.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, I don't even know why I even go down that road with you. Anyway, as I was saying, I digress. They called them the exciting whites. And some people were like, oh, that's cool. And some people were like, oh, that's racist. How about we all take a pause and just appreciate the fact he's a good cornerback? And yes, I recognize the fact how many Caucasian cornerbacks we have in the NFL. Not many. It's no different when Jeremy Lin was playing point guard for the Knicks. He's Asian American, Taiwanese. They were like, oh, sanity. But there were point guards who was just as good as him. But it's still significant that you had an Asian American point guard who was playing for the Knicks at a high level. How about we all just take a pause and just look. If you don't like it, scroll on. If you do like it, you celebrate that fact. Simple as that. No matter what happens, it did happen. No matter what happens, that individual is still the first African-American 4-star general in the Marines in 246 years. No matter if you don't like the way it was headlined, it still happened.
So, great soliloquy Right now you are frozen. And we're trying to get you unfrozen.
Okay.
So you had the same face for the last 5 minutes.
I wonder how it looks.
I'm gonna disconnect you. Can you come back in to the thing?
Yeah.